Hello, everybody. It's Brian. It's Wednesday, which is not the normal day that I stream. I had a bit of a headache last week or yesterday up in my brain case and decided to, because a migraine leaves me with nausea a little bit, I had to forego our tete-a-tete that we have on a regular basis. So, glad you could join me today. Thank you for coming. Hello, neighbor. One second here. I am in the midst of a discussion with a guest. Let me see. Oh, yeah, that's me. I dorked that up. That's my bad. Okay. One of the fun things about organizing. What the hell is this? Okay. Sorry, my apologies. Okay, I screwed that up. Okay, so couple things for those of you who noticed. We are a proud sponsor of B-Sides San Diego. They notified us of they were posting that on our social media channels, so LinkedIn, Twitter, and what have you. We have sponsored them for the first time. Hopefully not the last time. It all depends on how well my sponsorship raising and other things happen. I have to get sponsors so I can sponsor. So hopefully next year we'll do that. I have also transferred infoseccampout.com to the people up in Seattle who want to continue potentially doing the conference, infosec campouts. So I'm hoping that we'll see something positive come out of that domain transfer in the next few months. And so that's a lot of stuff that's been happening with me and my mouth. Oh, well, that would be why I didn't. I've moved my camera, so now you can see the microphone and everything. Yeah, I'll have to fix that eventually, but yeah, so I hope everyone's having a good time, having a good day. I know it's going to take a few minutes. If you got lurkers, hey, lurkers, welcome all the lurkers. Feel free to, say hello or not lurk in this case. You do you, do whatever works for you. I have to go in here and unscrew up something. So in addition to sponsoring things, I have also incorporated a new organization that we're doing. That would be great. Okay, good. All right, so we're moving a meeting to 1 o'clock tomorrow. And fixing a name because I can't read for shit apparently. One of the interesting things about booking people on the podcast or the Twitch stream or what have you is the level of involvement they would like before they actually come on. For some folks, it's like, yeah, I'll come on. What's time? Send me an invite. Done. For others, we have to massage the relationship. We have to create, trust. It's trusting. I assume it's very similar in many organizations when you come in and you're brand new, or if you haven't done a lot of these things before. We've had a couple of people on our show that. Our show was literally the first podcast or stream or anything that they've done before. And I'd like to think that when they come on, they've had a good experience. And, it's one of those things where I hope they can, see their way to coming back when they have something interesting, or, their PR people. Because I think a couple of them we've had on was results of some PR folks who were, hey, have this person on. And a lot of times I think the PR people are worried in what they're getting their people into. And, we're not Paul Security Weekly. We're not, I don't know, insert another interviewer that might give hard-hitting questions. I don't see a lot of benefit in bringing somebody on just to not treat them poorly, but to, I don't want to say lord knowledge over on them, or try to, do the gotcha thing, and I have a feeling that a lot of the PR folks have to deal with, podcasts or interviews where it's like, okay, well, I'm just trying to get clicks for controversy. So, I'm going to agree to this, and then I'm going to slap this person with some kind of, comment that's going to put them on the defensive. And it's never been my thing. I've always wanted people to have a good time on the show and to be able to not speak freely. I speak as free as I want to, but the whole point is to, be comfortable. As if I've invited you into my home, you take your shoes off, you pull up a chair, you reach back into the Barker Lounge, or you can go grab shit out of the refrigerator, that kind of at home kind of thing. And it's always kind of been something that I've hoped that everybody has had a good time and joined us that way. We've had several interviews over the past few years where it was a one and done, and I was like, yeah, that's probably the last time that person's going to reach out to us, and I don't exactly know why. It's one of those things where it's like, do I want to ask the question? Is that something? Did I come off as wrong? Did I screw the pooch in some way? And so, yeah, I'm interested in that dynamic, because sometimes maybe I don't pick up on signals until after the fact, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, great. There was one in particular, they didn't know it was going to be a video show or it was going to be live. They thought it was going to be a taped thing, because I guess their PR person said, yeah, it's a podcast, so it's an audio podcast. What are you going to do? And then they get on, they're like, oh, we're doing this on Twitch. It's going to be live. And they're like, oh, I didn't know that was happening. So that was probably, I'm going to call that it was probably on me, but I'm fairly certain I mentioned it in emails that, hey, we do a live Twitch stream. And, if that PR person or that guest doesn't know what Twitch is, they probably should figure out what the hell that is. If you haven't heard of Twitch, maybe I should say it's like YouTube, but with people. I don't know. So let me get this resent out here. So yeah, sometimes you have guests that want to have introductions, and they want to do a planning call and things like that, and understand what to expect. And it's fair. It's just, sometimes it's like, okay, I have to carve extra time out for that. And in addition to, doing somewhat editing and that kind of thing. So it's just, I have to kind of shoehorn that into my, normal work day, which is over here instead of, this over here. So, all right. So there we go. Drink. Okay. Whew. All right. Good times. And, sometimes you're an idiot and you just fuck up email addresses to send to guests. So I'll take that mulligan. Yeah. So how's everybody doing today? How's everybody doing this week? It's the most Wednesdayest day of the week because it's Wednesday. And it's it's interesting, the subjects that kind of fall in your lap at the last minute that might be fun to talk about. Let me see. I find it. It's on. So our Slack, which you can join if you'd like. I will leave you an invite link if you would like to join. Invite, copy link. So this will be good for at least another 24 hours if you want to join us. Remember that our Slack does have a fairly rigorous social contract, and we tend to not give warnings when we're banning people. So I suggest you read it. We don't give second chances. So if you come on up in there sputtering all about your politics and everything, you're going to get banned pretty quickly. And yeah, I wouldn't say we're an insular community, but everybody self-polices in there. And it used to be when we started it that I really worried about, the content and everything. We've only had to ban 3 people in nearly 10 years. So 7 years. So, pay attention, act professionally, do unto others, platinum rule, not the golden rule, that kind of thing. And of course, you can join our Discord as well, which, same thing applies. We don't, tend not to trifle with bullshit, and we'll ban you accordingly. But anyway, so getting back to my point here, somebody on our Slack had asked the question about, where was it? It's in our hallway con, and said, in search of topics, I've been tasked with delivering, and I don't know if they'll actually watch the VOD or they're watching right now, but we'll find out. I've been tasked with delivering a security blurb in our team meetings, and says he consults with PMs. Any suggestions would be appreciated. Most have taken, intro to cybersecurity type questions and whatever. So I work in a lot of security. I deal with a lot of meetings with a lot of different people. So, my first question was, what's the security blurb about? Is it, here's something that happened at work? Is it, what's the content expected? And he, I believe he said they have about a 5-minute deal, right? Replied back, it could be news, it could be generic security topics. These are a group of non-IT and non-infosec personnel. That's right. So the other thing that, who's your audience, right? Are you going to be talking to C-levels? Are you going to be talking to help desk folks? Is it a bit of both? That kind of thing. And who might benefit, it says IT and non-infosec personnel who might benefit from anything. I just don't know where to start. And, they got a lot of good information. Internet Storm Center was one of those ones. It's about 5 to 7 minutes of news. Somebody made haha comments that I cover news on our show here, which I appreciate that. I wouldn't say cover it. I would just say it's there, and I tend to just, blindly click on links that pop up. But I appreciate you, Mr. Matthews. And so, the podcast industry has been hit hard by, work from home, because when you drive, you would normally listen to stuff. I used to listen to a lot of podcasts, infosec related, when I was driving back and forth. Now I don't listen to infosec podcasts anymore. Mostly actual play RPG stuff when I'm out walking. So I'll put it out to the viewers that we have. We have actual multiple viewers now, so that's awesome. What kind of things would you want to see, or maybe put yourself in this person's shoes? If you had a 5-minute blurb, what would you put up in there? And assuming the audience is IT or non-infosec people. So, obviously I have put out a bunch of stuff that is security related. We have I have a whole RSS feed here based on, things that happen, leadership type stuff, or, there's threat intel items, there's, infosec stuff. Problem is my comments to the discussion was, hey, IT professional, I'm kicking off my day with randomdarkreading.com and hackernews.com articles. Yeah. We have a we have a department at work that tries to get a jump on vulnerabilities that happen and notify people before they become a huge deal. And I asked them, I was like, how are you staying, what kind of threat intel feeds are you using? Or, we're a fairly well endowed company in this case. And I was like, are you using like Unit 42's threat intel? Are you using, talking to CrowdStrike and figuring out which impotent pandas are going to be, doing these things? Are you talking to, Carbon Black or whatever? They're like, no, we just follow dark reading and bleeping computer. And I'm like, okay, great. And it's like you're sending out these emails to folks and there's no context. It's like, are you sending good information? Are you but yeah, I do that too. As you can see, I have a few links here in the infosec channel that I tend to follow for news or anything. Some have a bit more than others. Some of them actually, there's a lot of duplication because some of them are news aggregators. So sometimes I aggregate the news aggregators. So let me see, like So the one thing that with IT and non-infosec, I guess the thing that I have to ask this person also in our Slack channel is, what's your relationship with them? How do you work with them or not work with them? Because I think do you want to get up here? Yeah, okay, well, you get up here. Come on. Yes, I know. You get your ass up here. You're burning you're causing me to look like an idiot on my stream. I know, get up here. Come on, I'll do the happy. There we go. All right. Wow, exactly. Yeah. Well, how do you feel about a security blurb? You don't like security blurbs? No. We're not gonna get up on the desk. No. Yes, I know. But I think the security blurb would really somewhat depend on what it is your relationship is with them. If they see security coming as they're the Department of No or the doom and gloom, Mama Kitty just she just does what she wants to. So, So you're a pain in the butt. Apparently, you're pretty. You are pretty. Yeah. Some people say it should just be you all stream. Yeah. I know. But so as you can see, when I'm looking at my news feed here, a lot of it is doom and gloom, and you're not going to get up on the desk. No. A lot of it is doom and gloom. You've got ransomwares. You've got hackers abusing Google Cloud. And my thing was, depending on your relationship with the IT and the non-IT or non-infosec people, do you want to be the person who comes in and the first thing in this meeting is nothing but a bunch of negative news? And there's not a lot of positive infosec news out there. I don't know if that's by design or what. What? You are ruining my work here. Is this heckling? Are you heckling me? Okay, well, IT professional, you centering it around the industry they work in or tie in, IT or cyber. Yeah, the one thing that I made a comment of was, if you're going to talk about, something in the news and it's always going to be this ransomware attack or this breach or this vulnerability or something, people are going to get tired of seeing that if it's just all doom and gloom all the time. So yes, I would say, try to make it something that's applicable to those people in, maybe a tip or something. It's the person says it's like 5 minutes. I'm going to say 5 to 10 minutes, basically. You have to be real pithy. You have to get to the point because I've been talking, 20 minutes now? No, but I'd say 15 minutes now. you're going to burn through that 5 minutes pretty damn quick. So you've got to be on point. You've got to get to the point. So maybe, 30 seconds of, framing it, another 2 minutes to talk about something, and then maybe a minute to wrap up, and then maybe a minute for a question or two, because you want to leave room for questions in case somebody has questions. But, I would say you got to be real precise. You got to be like little tidbits of information. This is why this is why we have the policies that we have, or, this is, if you're going to talk about a news story, make sure that it's, something that is, this is why we don't allow this in IT, or we saw this last week, and, this threat actor, was hitting these folks or something. But yeah, I mean, ideally you want to, you could highlight a, potential new functionality or something, or maybe a project that you've got working in, hey, project, Mercury is coming along well. We expect to, have turnover of that. It doesn't have to be news, but, just something that lets people know what security is doing. And, I would always end it by saying, we're always here to talk. If you need questions answered or something, we're always available, to kind of keep those avenues of communication open and to let people know that they can do that. But yeah, I mean, we're not, we love ourselves some drama. We love ourselves some negativity. I mean, we've got botnets, we've got major cyber crime groups. I guess this one would be somewhat good news, or not in this case. So total, value by ransomware attackers. So I mean, I'm just putting that out there. So for folks that are maybe trying to brief leadership, or maybe a team meeting or something that isn't necessary, and you're the only security person, try to come with something other than doom and gloom. Try to come, and I think that's what we. Let me see. Oh, somebody had said, point at XKCD and we'll laugh for 5 minutes. Done. Actually, the person did try to pop in some Chat GPT stuff, but I think that there's. I don't think you're going to get more than 1 or 2 slides. If it's like a PowerPoint presentation for 5 minutes, you're going to get maybe 1 or 2 slides, maybe 1 slide. So whatever your 1 slide is going to need to be like really on point, a handful of things, that kind of thing. And I don't know what the format of the meeting is necessarily, but yeah. Let me see. Yeah, and the one thing you don't want this to end up being is, where somebody's like, hey, I don't have to be there like the first 5 minutes of the meeting. It's just a security guy talking, and I don't give a shit. And once you've lost your audience, then you're never going to get them back. So try not to be, vul de jour, or, here, look, here's another breach kind of thing. So I think it's important. And I don't know how often this happens, if it happens weekly, if it happens monthly, or what have you. So there should be ways you can do these. Like, if it's tax time, you could talk about, actually Series of Tubes, a good friend of ours, had mentioned BEC. So business email compromises or something like that. Talk about why those are a problem, but, be super pithy. Say, there's some prep here. You're going to spend more than 5 minutes talking about these 5 minutes. And I hate that, because I have meetings at work where I've spent day and a half, 2 working on a document, or, even 2 paragraphs that go into a document for senior leadership. And it's like, oh, that's interesting. Next. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay. I've just wasted like 2 days on squat, and did they even read it? Did they grok it? I don't know. If I had not had it in there, would it have mattered? And that it kind of hurts. So here I am rambling, but I'm sure I'm not the only person who's had to go through these kinds of, big ass meetings where it's like I've spent all this time and nothing. And maybe I'm just expecting too much of what I'm writing, but I've got 2 days where I could have done something else, right? Instead of having to write up this bullshit. So, but yeah, it is what it is. So anyway, that was actually something that came up where I was like, oh, this would be a good topic to talk about for 26 minutes. I actually I have to leave in about 20 minutes, so it's going to be a bit of a shorter episode today. Apologies if I had not had my migraine yesterday, we'd have been able to go a bit longer. But yeah, so as an example, let's do some news today that isn't about that. And actually, you don't really have to do, I guess, to circle back a little bit. It doesn't have to necessarily always be about security. You could do something about leadership, or you could talk about IT related items, like, some kind of new, Microsoft rolled out some, 2FA stuff, or which I want to say they did roll something out. So, or, talk about a talk that you saw on YouTube, like maybe you went to, maybe you saw some of the talks from B-Side San Diego last year. Which we're a proud sponsor, by the way. Let me see, past events. Yeah, here you go. Yeah, here's some, they haven't uploaded the 2023 presentations yet, but let's say, somebody did a PowerPoint presentation on building a better mousetrap, security in the SDLC. There you go. There's a PowerPoint presentation about building a better mousetrap from Dan Shanahan. I went to this one, didn't I? Yeah. Okay. I flew down from Seattle to go to the 2022 version of this. Of course, without speaker notes, it doesn't there, there's some context lacks. So there you go. Framework that allows us to describe the steps in which we need to build software, depicted as an infinity loop, or even a line. Allows us to share common nomenclature. That's the SDLC. So yeah, you might talk to them about CI/CD pipelines, or things that you would like to reach out and talk to them about. So yeah, IT professional. I don't know if I said anything earlier, but yeah, definitely center that around on something that would interest the audience, not interest you. You don't want to, if you're talking about what you like to talk about, it may not be what 95% of your audience is doing. So just a heads up there. But yeah, if you want to go and read up on some of these items, data breach investigation report. Yeah, and so, DBIR comes out, there might be another report talking about some things. So you can leverage these regular cadence things, and you may be able to schedule them out. It's like, okay, I know the DBIR comes out in August. So for the August meeting, one of the August meetings, whichever, depending on how often it happens, if it's, monthly or every other week or something, you could say, well, okay, so the first August meeting is going to talk about, DBIR. And some of the investigation points here. Attackers get in, and it's taking 200 days on average for them to find these things. And oh wow, okay. And, the idea is to, maybe if you can do something in 30 seconds that will cause 4 minutes of discussion, that's better. Instead of you talking to them and only outputting, if you can get them to contribute, ask questions. It's like, hey Bob, what do you think about doing some SAST stuff, or what do we do SAST here? What do our detections look like? So anyway, I want to stop talking about that right now, and we'll go back to so I'm actually talking with. I'm going to give him some free ad time here and I know some of you are probably watching ads as well. I apologize for that. Josh Grossman, who's a friend of the show. We've talked with him. I've seen him at several conferences. He's a good person. He's doing some training at Black Hat, August 3rd through the 8th, about accelerated AppSec, hacking your product security program. And he's legit because, he doesn't use the English or American version of program. He's going to be teaching a class, and right now the classes are somewhat cheap. As you can see, they get a little more expensive as you move along here, as you get closer to the time. And it looks like, wait, I don't understand. This one ends August 8th, but it's the 5th through the 6th. it's virtual, so maybe you get it recorded or something like that. Really weird. So you get things like getting buy-in and support from senior engineering and product leadership, becoming familiar with CI/CD processes and security benefits. I did talk with him, and he's keen on coming on the show to talk about this in aggregate, not the whole training. Obviously, it'd be nice, but some talking about some of these things in aggregate about that. And I talked with him. I was like, shifting left. When people say shifting left, I realize that they don't really get it, and it's not, because when you shift left, then that means that there's a point right here where all of security has to move this direction. And my point is, it shouldn't be a shifting left thing, because I understand the shifting left process is trying to get security earlier in the process. The problem is you got to have the developers over here who want to shift all of that left. So you have to have developers, you have to have dev managers, you have to have SDMs who are like, maybe we should include security. We should invite security left. We should invite them to the left, not shifting things to the left. Shifting means you're pushing it or forcing it in some cases. When in case you should be inviting security left, which I think I just invented a new concept. Interesting. So yeah, he and I were talking about that. Unfortunately, he's in Israel, so I am trying to figure out how the time zones will work for that, because he's 10 hours ahead of me. So it might be a very special BreakSec podcast stream where it's like 10 in the morning my time, and it's 8 o'clock at night for him. And so we'll see what happens. So I'm still working on that one, so we'll see what happens. But and yeah, so it's a lot of exciting things happening here. We have we started up a new company called 403 Concepts, which I've got the tax number, so I'm all legal now. It's going to be the blanket that we kind of had with the Information Education or InfoSec Education Foundation, except it's not going to be a nonprofit. I didn't really get any benefit from the nonprofit portion of it, and I don't think anybody cared that they were sponsoring us as a nonprofit. So all it did was add an additional layer of pain in having to, work that through. So we've started 403 Concepts. The idea is all of, the gaming stuff, the consulting stuff, the sponsorship, the podcast, the stream stuff will all kind of fit underneath of that. And it's ideas the future. So in case, say my wife wants to retire from corporate life and want to, open up her own management gig, we can potentially work underneath of that. And I've got some folks down here in San Diego. Apparently there's a fairly thriving startup community here. And so, the idea was to kind of, I don't want to say part myself out, but, work with them in almost like a virtual security person or virtual CISO kind of format, which I have several people that I can, ask questions about and, figure out if that's something that I can do. But yeah, we've got all that set up, and we'll be moving some things underneath there, including the streams and everything. So just keep an eye out on that. Anywho, I saw this one. This one made news several times today. Actually, let me get the original link that people posted up in our thing here. So, actually, I want to use this because we have our interview this weekend with Jared Freitas about threat models is going to kind of be involved here. So, I message with something called PQ3. It's a new state-of-the-art quantum secure messaging at scale. So Somebody wrote up apparently we have post-quantum encryption available in iMessage. Great. So what? Right? So what? Classical cryptography, no end-to-end by default, QQ, Skype, Telegram, WeChat. Level 1 is end-to-end by default, Line, Viber, WhatsApp, Signal, iMessage previously. Level 2, so they're trying to say they're at like level 3 now. So they have this probably, wait a minute, is this like Apple's marketing team? Wait. Oh yeah, security@apple.com. Okay, so somebody blogged about, how we're now doing level 3 post-quantum cryptography or what have you. So my question, and this came up in the Slack channel, it's like, do I need quantum messaging? Does anybody need quantum messaging? If you're in the stream chat and you think you need quantum messaging, please raise your hand. Because my question is, what's the threat model that you have that means you need to have quantum encryption on your iMessaging? I'm just trying to figure that out. It's my point in the Slack channel was that if my wife texts me, go get some milk at the store, does that need to be quantum encrypted? No. I think in certain cases, and if your threat model requires it, and I think one of the people in the Slack chat mentioned a reporter who was murdered for some things that were going on there. See, Walt, I think less than 1% of the people on Earth need this level of post-quantum encryption or whatever. I think, and this goes back to some of the things that I've talked about with security and some stuff that I see at work. It's like we're doom and gloom, right? Oh, if we don't do this, everybody's going to take over and we're all going to get owned and left and right and center. And I'm like, think about what you're saying there. Does the threat model mean that every message that you have needs to be post-quantum encrypted? I would say no. Does everybody need 200 character passwords in a 1Password locker that's stored in a offline vault 3 foot underground, in cement? No, they don't. If they did, there must be a legitimate threat, or at least one that they believe is, without being paranoid, that exists, that they need to implement those kinds of controls. And hey, Walt, by the way, hi, how you doing? Hope you're doing okay. Hope you're fully recovered and everything is fine. That's the problem I have with some of the security that is put into place. There are concerns about data being collected and cracked in 5 to 10 if the quantum computer actually became viable. That is a fair point. In 5 to 10 years, if I've quantum encrypted a message that I tell my wife I'm going to the store to get milk, and that really, somebody gives a shit about that, you know what? They can have it. They can have it. I think that if I was needing post-quantum iMessaging, I wouldn't be using an iPhone, or I wouldn't be using it. If I was sending messages so important that required post-quantum encryption, I shouldn't be using a phone. That would be some kind of thing where I would have to get on a fucking plane, literally fly to where the person is, knock on their door, and deliver the message to them right here. That's me. Yeah, or if I'm sending naked pics, I can understand maybe post-quantum encryption there. What? I'm trying to have a serious conversation here. Ah, for fuck's sake. This is what I get for having a sidekick. What? Do you need post-quantum encryption to send your naked pic? Who are you sending naked pics to, and how are you got a phone? Well, why don't you get up here? All right. Yes. You better not be sending naked pics of yourself. No, no. But that's. I don't know if I've become pragmatic about it, but there's a good number of things that I have no reason to have post-quantum encryption yet. I have sent my wife some things. Well, my goodness. Wow, producer Wolf. Thank you so much. Appreciate. Oh, okay. I will stretch. We will stretch. Thank you, producer Wolf. I don't know why the crying face. Oh, if you're talking about my cat, yeah, she just likes to do her own thing here. So, but thank you for the bugs. So, I just the problem I've got with this is everybody in security is going to jump on this and go, everybody needs to post-quantum encrypt your messages. And I'm like, no, they fucking don't. No, they fucking don't. Yeah, just no, they fucking don't. Everybody needs a password locker. No, they fucking don't. I don't see the need to pay 250. I don't know how much fucking 1Password is. How much is 1Password? It's the only one I know of right now that hasn't been popped. So that's the one I use so far. How much is 1Password a year? All right, so for family, it's $4.99 a month. John Hammond shouted me out in one of his videos. John Hammond, guy who ran Jurassic Park? I don't know. John Hammond. Do I want to go look that up? John Hammond. Record producer. Dr. John Hammond, creator of Jurassic Park. World's premier acoustic blues artist. John Hammond, internet personality. Cybersecurity education and ethical hacking. Maybe. Is it this guy? Is it this guy right here? Probably. There you go. I'm assuming this is who it is, Producer Wolf. So we'll boink, and then we'll feel free to post the link if you've got it, Producer Wolf, and we'll malware made easy. Okay. 2 days ago, these were about 35 minutes. Okay, yeah. It's his latest video. Okay. This one here? Don't forget this one hacking trick. Oh, maybe I should see if we can get him on. Oh, well, he's way too more popular than me. He probably wouldn't come on. So. Oh my shit. Okay, buddy. Whoa. Okay. Nearly blew my head off. All right. All right. Within the next Volnhub, John Hammond. Oh, there's Wolf. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, look at you. Volnhub. Yeah. Metabase. Okay. Very cool. Volhub, open source collection of pre-built vulnerable Docker environments. Oh, you know what? I was looking for something similar to this. Let me see if he's got a link in the notes down here. No, he didn't include your. He didn't include a link to your Volhub. That's not nice. If he was gonna pimp you out, he should have given you some love. Volhub. All right, let's go. Well, I'll give you a shout out here. Volhub, GitHub. There we go. All right, so doink. There you go. Go check that out, y'all. Pre-built vulnerable environments based on Docker Compose. Yes. Oh, I know. I love me. Well, it's not back in the day. Volnhub is still around. That is not how you spell Volnhub. Well, Google knows what I meant. So, I mean, it's still available. But, yeah, not to be confused with Volhub. So, Point. As a matter of fact, there's still a lot of blog posts out there for testing your OSCP that still swear by using several of the machines that are on here. Some of the older ones, especially for, and OSCP has changed so much since the last time I did it, but like the Chioptrix ones were, we actually did some of those on the original. Yeah, the Chioptrix ones were all called out as ones they could use. To show you how old these are, VMware Player 6, Workstation 10, Fusion 6. Several of these, you actually had to go in and delete the networking files so that you could actually recreate the networking files so they would actually work when you started up the system. But anyway, going back to Producer Wolf, several Docker Compose vulnerable systems here. Upgrade Docker 1 to Docker Compose 2 using Docker Compose. So you can go check those out. Wow, you've got a few here, Producer Wolf. Good for you. Good. Well done. I'm assuming you're continually adding to the... Well, yeah, here you go. You got one 2 weeks old. CVE 2017-17405. Very nice. All right. And plus, since nobody really knows what's happening with VMware right now, and there's nothing at scale that most labs can use, at least home labs. So things like, you can use VirtualBox, but people try to use Zen. You can use QEMU and Linux if you wanted to do that and just use a front end on that. But yeah, Docker is still open source, still free, and you can download these and play around with to your heart's content. I also believe, I won't mention them, but there's some deliberately vulnerable API stuff, I think, on the OWASP Slack that I saw as well. But you can go check those out. So, but yeah, Producer Wolf, well done you. Well done you. Volhub.org, huh? Okay. See, let me see. Can I translate? Where's my translate? Where's my translate function? Where's my universal communicator at? Wow, 600K polls. Wow, that's those are some nice metrics there. So yeah, very cool. Very nice. Anyway, so. I hate to run because I'm having a good time and we've had some good conversation here, but we're gonna be talking some more about threat model stuff on Sunday with Jared, and Friday I don't know what we're gonna be doing, but we'll see what we're gonna do. Yeah, I have to run because I got to go to dinner. So. Hope everyone's week goes well. I would like to... I want to try this out. They said that the raid function now gives you options. That's weird, because they said if you're trying to raid somebody on like Twitch or what have you, the function will give you suggest places you can go to raid. So... I'm never get used to me watching me on there. So show more. Let me see, what do we got? Itsploit. What's Itsploit? Okay, he's just playing games. Oh, Sid's on, so we'll go do Sid Heresy. So yeah, Sid is on. Go give him some love. And let me make sure I spelled that right, because apparently I can't spell shit right today. Yeah, okay. I'm going to go, and we'll see you on Friday. And join our Slack, join our Discord if you can. It's in the stream chat earlier up. But yeah, have a great day. Have a great rest of your week. Stay cold, stay warm, stay dry. And take care of yourselves. Bye, y'all.